Bitcoin. Alright. This is Bitcoin versus fiat, otherwise known as that toilet paper we call cash. Alright. What is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is a virtual currency, a cryptocurrency. It's generated a number of different ways. You can purchase it. You can mine it if you have enough money for the equipment. But it is a means of trade. It is a means of exchange. It is a measure of value. Currently, it has so much value, it is the single most valuable currency on the planet at this time. Alright. Bitcoin versus fiat. Well, anyone who's paid attention at all in the last 5 years, you realize fiat, or cash, American dollars, British pounds, euros, are worthless. They can be printed out to obscene levels. I mean, currently I think a loaf of bread in Nigeria is over $1 trillion Nigerian dollars. Does that sound stable to you? Oh, I digress. Bitcoin versus fiat. Fiat, they can print out as much as they want. Spend it at today's rates before inflation hits after it mixes in with the market. With Bitcoin, there will never be more than 21 million. And after a series of lost wallets, the purposeful burning of Bitcoin, which is a means of essentially dumping your Bitcoin, we're probably looking somewhere close to a maximum level of about 17 million Bitcoins that will ever exist. Compare that with trillions upon trillions upon trillions of American dollars. You look at this and you start to realize why some people are considering turning Bitcoin into, or another cryptocurrency into the world reserve currency, the currency that all other currencies are measured against. Currently, that is the US dollar, and I believe we are currently printing about 40 billion a month, or is it a week? Either way, it's way too excessive. Now, fiat currency, well, it's paper. It's steel. Our coins are not even silver. Our pennies are not copper. It is steel with a copper coating. It's worthless. We think of it as having value because we are told it has value. But in reality, they can just make as much as they want. It's not rare. It's not precious. It's toilet paper. Now that's the argument against fiat. Because you can inflate fiat as much as you want. And it's easy to tax. I'll get to that in a minute. Now, Bitcoin versus government. The crutch, or crux of this video. Bitcoin versus government. Government cannot print it. Government cannot create it. If government wants to tax you, guess what? They can't take it away from you before you get it. If they want to go and start a war, and they're going to spend hundreds of billions of dollars, in order to do that, they need money. They need currency, which means they will actually have to come to you to get it from you, to ask you if this is something you are willing to spend your labor on. How many people do you think would be all happy about all these wonderful spending programs if they actually had to physically hand it out? How many people do you think would agree with these programs if, in order to pay for these programs, they had to ask for your permission? Something to think about right there. Government hates Bitcoin. Effectively, they hate all forms of trade and currency that they cannot control. Income tax would go the way of the dodo. The only type of tax that would be able to survive in this type of environment is an end user sales tax. Well, I don't know about you, but I've done a little bit of research into some of this. Are you aware that the average American, almost 80% of what you spend at the store is incurred tax? This is where I think Herman Cain went wrong with his 999 plan. He didn't explain it right. All the people heard was a 9% federal sales tax. Wait, you mean to tell me another tax on top of the state sales tax that I already have to pay? Dude, get out of here. No. By removing all the incurred tax, let's use easy numbers. Let's say you want to go and purchase a product that has an 80% sales tax. Incurred tax. By removing all of that, that product is now $20. Even if we have a 25% tax on that, federal, we are now up to $25. And then if you want to include let's say they increase it a little bit. Let's say after state sales tax, you're looking at about $26.70. That's less than $27 for something that previously cost $100. Your purchasing power has essentially quadrupled. You now have 4 times the amount of purchasing power that you once did. I don't know about you, but I kind of like that idea. Now, back to Bitcoin versus government. They really can't track it. Sure, they can look at the wallets and the blockchain, but there's no driver's license attached to it. There's no address attached to it. There's no social security number attached to it. Getting interested now? That means that the only viable tax is a visual tax. anything that comes out, you will automatically see that they are taxing you whenever you go to purchase something. It is, in a sense, a consumption tax. Now, for all those people that want to get the rich, you should love this idea, since it's well known that the rich spend more freely. The more you spend, the more you purchase, the more tax you pay. Government can't regulate it. Government can't print it. Government can't control it. Yeah, I'm really liking this idea. Now, what about Bitcoin and MGTOW? What about Bitcoin and preppers? Well, I'll get to MGTOW in a moment. But for the preppers out there, that allows you to prepare. That allows you to acquire resources and tools and equipment without Uncle Sam sitting in your back pocket taking note of every purchase you make. Sounds like a good idea to me. How many people have thought about the concept of a bunker? You know, like a shit hit the fan scenario, doomsday bunker. Well, you gotta pay for that using cash, using the financial institutions that are regulated and controlled by the government. Meaning, if your fear is martial law and a governmental takeover, guess what? They already know about everything you have and where it's at. This should concern you. Now, MGTOW. There are a number of different forms and types of MGTOWs. There's many categories. Well, it's kind of the definition. We are men choosing to go our own way and not be limited or controlled by society. Why is this good? This means you can generate wealth and retain value completely free of the government, completely free of feeding the system. This should be of interest to everybody. Bitcoin can free us. It can free us in a number of ways. For those of us that have been completely and utterly destroyed by the family courts, this is a way of generating income without Uncle Sam taking it. And some people are going to get mad about this, but in the realm of child support, some of us have been hit. We've been blindsided by an instantaneous, let's say, $14,000 in arrears. As a result, our licenses get pulled. We're no longer able to go to work and pay these obscene amounts in child support. So it just stacks up and stacks up and stacks up. This would allow you to have the chance to actually earn money through your labor without them taking it before you can even use it. I've come across a few people who have had the unfortunate experience of getting hit with a 65% child support bill. Now, these people also fall into the higher tax bracket, which now under Obama is 39.6%. That means before the state taxes, before FICA, before Social Security, you're already at 104% of your income. I mean, how would you like to go to work and be faced with the fact that you owe 100 or up to 120% of what you make? You will never be able to eat. You will never have a roof over your head. This is what is facing many, many people. And with Bitcoin, there's a way to avoid it. I want to see if I can find it, but Stefan Molyneux was speaking at a convention about this very topic about governments and Bitcoin. And I must say, he turned me into a convert. For any prepper, as I said, do you really want the government? Do you want the EPA? Do you want BLM knowing every purchase you make? I mean, do you want the FBI coming after you because you went and purchased something and they decided that, well, because you bought something that is fairly innocuous, that you are a terrorist? I mean, a while back, the FBI even sent out flyers that if you use cash, you are a terrorist. If you purchase things at big box stores like Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, you might be a terrorist. This is like the ultimate Jeff Foxworthy joke. Let's take control of the money out of the hands of those that would see to control us. Let's remove them from the equation. Let's make them ask each of us for this money that they want to use in all of their little special pet projects. Let's rein in control of this overblown balloon that we call a government before it pops in our face.